All right, Lee. So let me ask you a question here.
Hit me with it.
How'd you get into gaming?
Well, I think it started a long time ago. Don't remember how old I was. I was probably a little bit younger because we were going to my Uncle Bill's up in northern Wisconsin to the Rainbow Flowage. I don't know the exact name of the town. I know it was near Minocqua, Wisconsin. But my Uncle John would bring his Nintendo 64 all the way up there to entertain me. And we played 007 GoldenEye.
Dude, hell yeah. Love that game.
We were playing that. At least I was playing it from the morning until nighttime until he told me, that's enough. We're not playing it anymore. But I was so hooked to that game from the beginning. It was just so, I don't know, it was different. I didn't have anything. That was my first console after I got to play that with him. The next following Christmas, I asked Mom for it, and she was able to get me that console for Christmas and same game and everything. It was great.
Yeah, hands down, the first console you get as you get older, you'll never have that nostalgic feeling towards that console
No,
or another console again.
It was awesome because I played GoldenEye up there first. That was the first game I ever played, GoldenEye. Then he showed me Mario Kart, which is an amazing game, and N64 Mario Kart. Then Super Mario, or what was it? No, Mario 64 or something like that. The one where you're running around the castle.
Yeah, the 3D one.
Yep, the 3D one. That was a great game. Freaking Super Smash Brothers. I remember everyone playing that game growing up. Everyone loved Super Smash Brothers, right? Yeah, Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, Super Smash Brothers. Yeah.
Everyone played that. All my cousins, all that. The N64 was the console to have until we all kind of grew up a little bit and got the PS2.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. It's like, depending on what your first console is, really defines your childhood.
Yeah.
Mine was a little different. My dad, avid hunter, he was really big into Duck Hunt when it came out. And I remember being 2, 3, 4 years old with me and my sister, and we'd lay on the floor in front of the CRT and we'd do Duck Hunt for hours on end. And that was really where my first kind of gaming experiences started, was with Duck Hunt. And then we had a Super Nintendo and a Genesis, and then having a sister that's 9 years older than me is nice because once she's done with all that stuff, hey, it's brand new to me. I don't really care. I'm going to play it anyways. PS1, Saturn, N64, all that stuff I got. But why I started gaming, not just for fun,
Yeah.
but for mental sanity,
Yeah, I can
was
see.
definitely at least kindergarten, probably even preschool before then, because as most of you know me in real life know this, but for the interwebs out there, I don't have all my fingers. And yeah, I was just born with amniotic band syndrome. I don't have all my fingers. I have a lot of scarring on my hands, and I've been a chubby kid my whole life. So I was picked on daily, maliciously bullied, whether it was at school, whether it was at the grocery store, literally anywhere I went,
Mm-hmm.
I was bullied. And having that anxiety and that social awkwardness around people was so difficult to cope with. But when I would go home and play my favorite game, and still is my favorite game of all time, Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 on my Dreamcast,
Yeah.
I was Sonic. I was the fast one. I was the cool one. I was the one everyone always wanted to play with. And that to me is why I game. Not just because it's fun, but because it's a release from daily stresses of life, and it's amazing. The second I press that power button, it all goes away. But then I press and turn it off, and it all comes back.
Yeah, I mean, I would 100% agree with you. After getting into all video games and finally growing up a little bit more, and then the drama that comes with growing up is the just being a big guy. I mean, I was always told I had to go. You're big. You go play sports. You're fucking 6'4".
That was me as well. Yeah.
You go play sports and you're gonna like it. But at the end of the day, I was told I had to go do that. That's not what I really wanted to go do. Is to go play football or basketball or go wrestling. I just wanted to go home and play video games. It unplugged me from all that stuff. After going to school for I started school at 7:00. We got out of school at 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 8 hours of just learning just stuff, and it's just over. You can't sit in the same room half the time when you do that. But getting that, unplugging from all that once I got home was amazing. From the sports ball, and
Yes, sports ball.
sports ball, and just getting away from it all. It's just, there was so much going on. I mean, most of you, if you know in my past, a lot of stuff going on in high school. I lived with my grandma. She was passing away of or COPD, like watching someone suffocate to death. And then football scholarships, schools coming in to talk to you. Is like, I didn't really want to go do that, but that's because what my body, like the talent behind the size of me, that's what was happening. But I didn't want to do any of that. I wanted just to play video games. It just took me away from all that stress of people wanting to come talk to you about this when it's something you really don't want to. It's like the elephant in the room. You don't want to talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah, like no one wants to go into that for sure.
It's like being told, the 18-year-old kid, here is a business loan for you. And if you want to take it, go for it. But if you don't want to take it, you're still taking it because you're a really big kid and we need you on our football team.
Yeah, and like you're barely 18 or not even 18 at the time.
I was
and
young,
you need to make
youngest
like
kid in class.
a decision that can greatly affect your future. That's tough. Yeah. Now here, Lee.
Yeah.
Here's a good question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite video game?
My favorite video game.
Like the favorite
It's
one
so
of all
hard,
time.
though. I think my favorite video game, I forgot what you called it. It was the video game / movie like title. What did you call those video games?
Like
Matrix came out with a video game. A
oh,
film.
like a movie title?
Yeah, like a movie
release?
title.
Yeah, okay.
movie title release. I think
Yeah.
my favorite video game was when I was in 5th going to 6th grade. It was Star Wars Episode 3, the movie title video game, where you got to play both sides of Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi to determine the fate of Episode 3 before Episode 3 was even out in movie theaters. It was a RPG kind of, it wasn't really full open world, but you played as those two characters and you just keep going on and you get to choose your path, kind of like KOTOR, where you get to choose the light side or dark side, no matter which side you want to be on, Obi-Wan's side or Anakin's side. So you could either determine the path that the movie actually played out in, or you could determine the path that if Obi-Wan Kenobi was the dark side guy, essentially.
I need to play that.
That was probably my favorite game and my first expensive game I ever bought. That one was the first game I could remember being $60, where everything else like Ratchet and Clank. I think Sonic was another game I had on the PlayStation or PlayStation 2. And a bunch of Demolition Derby games, but those were all like $20 from what I can remember. That was the first $59.99 video game at Wally World.
Wally World.
Yeah.
Wally World, man. Buying our games from Walmart.
What's your favorite game, Derek?
Dude, that's hard, man. It's like
you have a such larger span of consoles than what I had. I had the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation 2, and then I would have to go not ride my bike because I didn't want to learn how to ride a bike. I wanted to walk over to my friend John's house to see what he had on Xbox, the original Xbox.
Yeah, like it's...
But you had everything from the start of frickin' time for video games. You have the Atari and everything else. So that's a hard one for you.
Yeah, it really is hard. It's just like hands down the game that I really identified with the most when I was a kid was like Sonic 2. Because I had that most when I first really started playing video games, from when I can remember. Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, all those Sonic games on the Genesis were ones that I really connected with, but hands down still my favorite games of all time, and the ones that really helped me through like the darkest periods of my life and really coming to be who I am is Sonic Adventure 1 and 2.
Now maybe we should is this your favorite single player game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, favorite single player game, but also still the most fun I've ever had, and it is going to always be my favorite video game of all time, for sure.
I guess let's flip the question back to, what's your favorite multiplayer video game that you ever played in your lifetime?
Online or
online?
Okay,
So,
online.
like, we're talking like Halo Combat Evolved, any of the, I don't know what did they technically call that, 7th generation consoles?
Yeah,
Xbox
like,
and PlayStation?
Yeah,
too?
like the 7th, 8th gen consoles. Yeah. That was really when like the Xbox Live and all that stuff.
That's
really
when that
started
all
to come
became
around.
big. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Anywhere between from then till now. What was your favorite or series? Because I know there was some like Halo, Gears of War, Battlefield.
multiplayer game.
Yeah, you play with friends. Like
Gears of War. I mean,
Gears
I
of
can't
War?
even really say which one because I've laughed so hard.
laughed and cried so hard.
Yes,
Yeah.
and raged so hard. There's plenty of controllers that have gone missing out of my collection through Gears of
Best
War.
Buy
And
warranty pack.
my Gears of War disc may have been attacked.
by cat.
Yes, we'll
Okay.
go with that for now. But Gears of War, hands down, like it still is. Love Gears 5, but like the original trilogy online was amazing. All right, Lee. So what is your favorite multiplayer game?
My favorite multiplayer video game. It's a tough one. I was big into Call of Duty. Call of Duty was a great franchise. I remember Call of Duty 2. Yes, it had an amazing single player storyline. Like that was when Activision or whoever did Infinity Ward got their crap right because they talked to veterans from World War II to figure out how to make the storyline so immersive.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, it's a tough one because Call of Duty Modern Warfare was like the game everyone had growing up. Like
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers.
That was fun.
Zombies. No, not really zombies, but all those after they stopped caring about what online game modes were
Right.
being injected into their game. But Halo was another great franchise. I mean, I played both of them a lot. My friend group, between John and some of the guys he used to play with from the football team, between Call of Duty and Halo, like Halo had an actual online ranking system from the get-go. Halo 3, all the way up to 90. I forgot what the highest you could go was, like 99, I think, once you hit the most experience points. But then like Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty 3, there was really no ranking system. I was like, I got this many kills this game.
Yeah,
I got
right.
this many deaths. So if your deaths were lower than your kills, you were really good. But then Call of Duty 3 was like, they rewarded you all the way up to Sergeant. You got more ammo, you got more grenades, you got better kill streaks, I guess you would call it then.
Yeah.
Still, they didn't really call it kill streaks just yet. But I would say Halo 3 was my favorite. That was the one I remember staying up till midnight to go to the store to go get the game with John. And then I asked my mom if I didn't have to go to school the next day because I really wanted to play it.
Those were the best days. I did that with ODST.
Yep, those were the best days of video gaming. I remember that. I guess that's my favorite multiplayer game was Halo, the Halo series. Online, it was nitty gritty. I mean, looking at the pictures of the lobbies, like as memes, like you could hear
Yeah,
the
anxiety.
obscenities and anxiety and the racial slurs and everything that could happen in that lobby between a bunch of 15 to 14-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
Halo was probably my favorite online multiplayer game. Hey, thanks for watching our last video there from DLTV. If you really like the content, please give us a big old thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, comment below what else you think we should discuss about in these videos. We're really open to anything. Anything related towards the video gaming industry or video games themselves. See ya. Deuces.